through your chart the whole time. And the middle band, what I call it the baseline, or most people call it the middle band. But we know from the middle band to the bottom band, most of the time it's in the cell, right? From the middle band to the top band, most of the time it's in the buy. And if you even see here, you can see how it did some movement, even in the bands. So most of the time when it's in between from the middle band to the bottom band, most of the time this trade is in a sell, right? Once it crosses that middle band, it tells you that it's going into a buy, right? One thing about the band, most of the candlesticks don't come too far through the band. At some point when it hits the bottom band, it has to shoot back up. You got me? At some point when it gets to the top band, it might go through a little bit, but at some point it has to shoot back down. So we call it a safe gray area because we know when it hits the band, it gotta either go back down. If it hit the top band, it has to go back down. And if it hit the bottom band, it has to go back up. Now your RSI, when you start understanding your RSI, it'll tell you the direction of when it's about to go back down, or if it's getting ready to test and consolidate for a while. So your RSI, if it gets over 70, we know it's getting ready to go back down into a sell. If it hits below 30, we know it's getting ready to go up into a buy. So what I do is I call it 80-20 rule. And I'm gonna get a little bit more in depth with it when we do next Saturday. But what we do, my motto is, let's forget the fat. Like if you eat a steak, let's forget the fat and let's get to the meat. Because fat will mess you up if you eat it in the steak. It's gonna clog your arteries and a whole bunch of other bad stuff. But it actually gives the meat that flavor. So my rule for it, we know in any sale, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually trade inside the bands. We don't never wanna trade when it's going through the middle band. We wanna make sure it's clearly going from middle band to top band or from middle band to bottom band, because we're gonna make money both ways. So my job is we're gonna forget the 10% at the top, right? We're gonna forget the 10% at the bottom, right? And we're gonna get the meat in the middle. 80-20.
Like that meat.
Got it? Because we remember what we said, when we hit this, when we hit this band, when it hit this band, it's gonna change directions. So we wanna be clearly know that we're gonna get nothing but money, because we don't wanna lose no money by getting to this band.
Getting too
But we know
close.
when it get to this band, it might got a chance to change the directions again. So we wanna get the meat in between. That's the 80-20 rule that I use. And even when we're at the bottom, if we know we're gonna be in a sale, we're not gonna jump into it as soon as it crosses here. We're gonna actually measure out 10% of it. We're gonna miss it at 10%. Once it gets to that 10%, so we put in a sell stop. 10% in, you can go ahead and measure it from the line where you got the numbers at over here, for a sell stop. As soon as it gets, you can set it and forget it. You can set it, because as soon as it hit this mark, we know it's gonna go into a sell, right? And we put our take profit 10% before it hit the line. So we know it's gonna knock us out, because it's gonna change directions by the time we get here. We don't wanna lose our money that we already made, right? So we're gonna get it's gonna equal that 10 and 10. We're gonna miss this 10, and we're gonna miss that 10, but we're gonna get the 80 in the middle. I'll get a little bit more depth into it when we have our trade school next week. But that's one of the ways where he said we're gonna get rich quick. You can trade in any window, any chart, 15 minute, 30 minute,
Crypto.
5 minute, as long as you stay inside these bands. You can trade as long as you want, as long as you stay inside these bands for the 80-20 rule. And I'll break that down to you a little bit more when my mom told me about 80%, 20%, and how you'll remember this, because the 80 part is the meat. Got it?
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Woohoo!
Hey, I just want to